First, before I introduce myself and I talk about what I am up to, please allow me to express my deep condolences to the families of those who have lost the young ones. In Kenya today, we are in a serious political and economic crisis, one that we have not seen in this country before. Having close to about 200 young people dying in less than 2 years is shocking. It's shocking. In the last 2 months, we have had more than 60. The numbers are increasing. This is shocking. When you hear the president ordering the shooting of Kenyan unarmed young people, I don't know how other people feel. I get shocked. I get shocked. The president has no powers. The CS has no powers to order the shooting of people. They are supposed to be protecting them. If there are any offenses committed, they are supposed to be taken to court. Are we being told that the police are helpless? They can't arrest those young people? It is quite shocking. So what is happening now is what we are also seeing. The president is weaponizing the justice system to deal with these young people. They're being called terrorists. These young people are not terrorists. These are young Kenyans whose only crime is to express their views, their constitutional rights, to demand their constitutional rights. Instead of being applauded and supported, they're being killed, they're being abducted. This is serious. When you talk about the numbers of those who have been killed, today tens of them were buried, including the 12-year Bridget, who was just watching TV in her mom's house. That tells you how indiscriminate the shootings were. Yeah. So it is something extremely worrying. Yes. And as Kenyans, unless we take action, our country is going to the dogs.
CJ, is that why you're running for office?
Exactly. Exactly. Last year, just before June, I was watching what is happening in the country, and I was troubled. On 25th of June, I was just shocked at what I saw. Just as I'm sure every Kenyan was shocked. What did these young people do? Express their outrage. Why are they going to the streets? Why are they doing what they are doing? Because nobody cares about their interests. Nobody cares about their interests. So we are in a very, very awkward situation. So when I saw that, and I got troubled, you know, the conversation was about what is happening. Yeah. Quite a number of people also talked about that. And then somebody asked me whether or not I had thought of a political seat. I said no. He said, look, you had better begin thinking. I said, I've never been a politician. I understand if you need to contest the presidential position, you need at least 10 billion. I told them, look, forget about that, this can't go on. And when the conversation went on and a few more people talked about it, of course I was myself wondering whether there's anything I could do. We talked, and after consultation with my family, with friends, and prayerfully reflecting on the issue, I decided to put in my bid. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
We will talk about funding, and we'll talk about a lot more. Do you think your lack of a political background is an advantage or a disadvantage?
Before we come to that, Yvonne, what does this country require at this moment? with the chaos that are on in the country, we need this country to be reset back to constitutionalism, to the rule of law. We need this impunity to be dealt with square in this country. We need to restore the dignity of our people. You can't have people being killed the way we are seeing. We can't have people suffering and some of them dying from simple ailments that can be treated. We can't afford to have our children sitting at home because there's no funding given for their education. You lose a generation of such young people. We need to restore our economy. I'm sure you're aware that quite a number of corporations have shut down in Kenya and gone to other countries. Some of them have downsized their operations. All this is because of poor management of our affairs. So we need to think seriously about that and change what we can do.
And do you believe you are the person to do that?
I believe I'm the person who can do it.
Why?
Why? Because I have experience. I have experience on how government sometimes operates. They would want to intimidate you, not to do what you're supposed to do. I saw that a lot when I was in the judiciary, and I stood firm. When you stand firm, sometimes you confuse them. They don't know what to do with you. So I am ready to stand up to them and demand that we work together. I am, of course, I am not an expert in everything. I'm a lawyer. What I want to offer to the Kenyans is leadership. I will be like a captain, get competent people in various positions in government, give them the confidence to work, authorize them to do their work, yeah, and demand results.
Okay.
Yeah? And you know, we don't have, we are not short of competent people. We have very competent people all over.
Okay. I want to understand what it's been like for you, because it's been a couple of weeks, maybe a few months since you declared your bid. I wonder what your experience is so far. We've seen you first out on the streets during protests. We've also seen you doing visits in some parts of the country. What would you say your experience is so far in this sphere of life, considering where you've been and now, sort of going out on the political front?
I'm experiencing different dynamics. Different dynamics, talking to people. Mekula tear gas kidogo. For nothing else other than coming in solidarity with the mothers and the siblings who lost their loved ones, last June. So, it is an interesting experience, but we live in this country, and we have seen how it goes. I am consulting a lot, and that is what Kenyans are expressing. What Kenyans are expressing are saying, look, CJ, when you get there, please bring a fundamental change to what is happening. We cannot afford to continue like this.
Right.
Yes.
Perhaps one of the areas that people think about when they focus on Kenya's politics is how it is run and how it is organized. Would you run on a political party or as an independent? What are your thoughts around that?
I will run on a political party or a coalition of parties. In fact, the latter is most likely because I have already got people who are in several parties, and they have said, look, would you like to run on my party? If not, we will support you. We will be one of the parties which will support you. So most likely I will run on a coalition of parties.
Okay, and who are these people who are offering you their parties?
No, let's not go to the identities, but believe me, there are quite a number of those who are.
I mean, the reason I ask is because of ideology in our politics.
Yes.
And I think that's been an important part of the discussion in this country since independence. And so perhaps just trying to get an understanding of what you think regarding political party ideology, because as you say, if anybody stands up and says, I want to run for office, there's a dime a dozen of people offering you a political party, which, as we know, is just usually in this country a vehicle to power rather than an ideology or a set of principles and values.
Yes, I hear what you say. You must, a political party that you are going to run on, or a coalition party that you are going to run on, must be one which reflects your values, which reflects your ideology, which it's, I mean, the constitution of which will itself speak of the type of person they expect you to be. So it is important to have a party. There is one that is, in fact, we are looking at the constitution and amending it appropriately to suit our vision and manifesto.
And when will we hear about this party?
Perhaps towards the end of the year.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I want to ask you, because you mentioned something about funding elections in this country. You say people told you you would need how much to run for president?
At least 10 billion.
10 billion. So how do you propose to fund your operations? Because that's the landscape we're in. As I'm sure you're now witnessing as you go, for gatherings and rallies, as you're meeting the people. In this country, we have all of that already. These gatherings are sometimes known as empowerment. What's been your experience? Have you had to pay people to attend? And what's your scope in terms of how much it'll take to fund your campaign?
Thanks, Yvonne, for that question. Before I come to the direct answer, the issue of funding of campaigns for presidential and other positions is a major issue in this country. And in my view, it is partly what has brought us to where we are. Why do I say that? I say that because somebody spends whatever amount he spends. On coming in, the first thing he wants to do is to recoup what he has spent.
Yeah.
After that, he begins building a war chest. Building it from where? Public resources. And you have looting left, right, and center. Just as I was seated here, we saw a news item where the Auditor General is talking about funding being remitted to non-existent schools. I have talked about budgeted corruption. That answers or tells the people what we are talking about. Huge sums of money. So one of the things I'm going to focus on is the electoral process in this country. When you demand or you make it so expensive, young people, our youths, will never get to elective positions. Our ladies, many of them with very little resources, will never get to elective positions. And that is not because that's the way it is supposed to be. No, it is the way it has been made. People come in, steal your money, use it, buy your what? Buy your votes, and go to steal more. We want to change that. We will change that so that money doesn't count in the elections.
Okay, so yes. Be that as it may.
Yes.
It does count in the elections.
I mean, what should count?
Fortunately or unfortunately?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What should count are expenses.
Okay.
I'm not saying that you are not going to spend any money.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Because there is an amount of money that would be required.
Yes. What I'm talking about is giving money to people to vote for you.
Okay.
What is going on around, I don't know what your view is, the empowerment, the so-called empowerment programs, How long are you going to do that?
What is your view on the empowerment?
My view is that, look, don't go dishing out money to people when you are supposed to revamp the economy so that these people can earn their own money. I mean, you give them 1,000, 2,000 shillings. I don't even know how much is being given. Yeah. How long does it last with them? So what we are going to emphasize, what we want our Kenyans to know, that they should not be bought.
Okay.
They should not be given a few hundreds of shillings, a few thousands on the eve of election, and they vote wrong people.
Okay.
Yes.
So not to give the money to influence the vote. However, running a campaign costs money.
Yes.
You'll need to hire vehicles. You'll
Correct.
Need to,
Correct.
PA systems or whatever it is.
Yes.
Have you done an assessment of what you will need and where are you going to get that money from?
Yes. It is being worked. The details are being worked on. We will require quite a substantial amount of money.
Do you know how much?
I won't tell now. My people are working on the likely budget. But I'm convinced we are going to appeal to Kenyans, including Yvonne, to contribute to our campaign, and it's going to succeed. The Kenyans will themselves fund this election, and once we are funded and get elected,
yeah,
you can rest assured that anybody trying to twist us or do anything, will tell him, look, this is a Wanjiku funded presidency.
Yeah, but so, be that as it may, CJ, Kenyans are going through a tough time. The cost of living is high. What you're talking about is projections and hopes that people will fund your campaign. Are you putting in any money yourself?
Very little.
Okay.
Yes. Very little.
How much?
I mean, 1-2 million shillings. Okay. I don't have much money.
Okay.
I don't have much money. But Yvonne.
And if you don't get the funding that you require from others, I mean, it's sort of like a budgeting issue, isn't it? Like you make projections that you will get X amount from, well-wishers or Kenyans of goodwill, as you might call them. If you have a funding gap, right, in your campaign operations, how are you going to plug that gap?
It is not going to be there. Let me tell you that. The people we are talking to, some we are meeting, are saying, look, when are you setting up the pay bill? We are going to pay. We are not asking a lot of money from individuals. We will leave it open for somebody with the suffering the Kenyans have gone through.
Yeah.
I can assure you that getting 10, 20, 50 shillings from individuals, 100 shillings, will come in. And I can assure you that the assurances we have been given from across the country, we are going to, in fact, if anything, we are hoping to get excess. And my view is that once we get excess, whatever will be left, we'll give it to a public cause.
At some point, will you make this public?
Yes. We're going
what your budget is, what you're hoping to get from the public, and how much you're putting in?
Exactly.
Okay. We'll hopefully have you here.
Yes.
At the moment that decision is made.
Yes.
Retired Chief Justice, what makes you different from what we have on offer? And I'd like to hear. We have a current president that you are hoping to unseat in 2027. Let's start with him first, because the others are all aspirants like yourself. What do you think makes you different from the current president, and why all these Kenyans will support your campaign and go beyond supporting it financially to actually voting for you? Why should you be the one to unseat President William Ruto?
President Ruto ran a campaign with very many promises, very, very good sounding promises. Bottom-up economic system, very many, very good promises. And people believed him that he was going to deliver. But, I mean, you can also ask yourself how many he has delivered on. Quite a number of those promises he has not delivered on. If anything, he has actually gone against them. He promised the young people that upon completion of your education, we are going to work on your employment. The employment opportunities are shrinking by the day because of the mismanagement of the economy, mismanagement of the political affairs. That, as I said earlier, has made businesses close down, and some of them moving to other countries. What we have seen are Kenyans being sent to other countries, and the reports we are receiving from those who have gone is they're being sent to slavery. They're being sent to slavery, and they are suffering. So with those promises, how do you expect the young people to react? The promises he made on infrastructure have just come to a standstill. Look at education. We have policies. I mean, there is really no clear policy on education, right from early child development, right to universities. Why? Because there have been quite a number of commissions that have been set up. Some of them have come up with very good recommendations. Those recommendations should be translated into policies. Those policies are lacking, so there is total confusion. You hurry, for example, transition from primary to early, junior secondary, with no facilities, with no infrastructure at all, and what the parents are left with is to see what they can do and fund that. The teachers themselves are not trained or are not prepared for that. So it's total chaos. Total chaos. That, I mean, we will have improvements in our education system and all that, but this is supposed to be planned, carefully thought out, planned, so that when you roll out, of course, even if there are any hitches here and there are hitches which can be dealt with easily, okay. Not the way we are in.
Now, all those are challenges that Kenyans clearly understand.
Yes.
How would you do it differently from what the president is doing now? And indeed, all the problems that you are stating are the very same issues that are being stated by others who are seeking to run for office in 2027.
Yes.
What makes it you that will be the one that changes things?
Thanks, Yvonne. As I told you, I'm listening to Kenyans. I'm listening to professionals. I'm listening to people in education. And what they are saying is they are not being given an opportunity to run. Like education is being interfered with, left, right, and center. Even the recruitment of teachers is being interfered with from State House. And as a result, some of the officers are disillusioned. So, as I said earlier, I am going to have a team. I'm going to have officers who are competent in their respective areas and allow them to work.
So are you saying the team that is running the country now is not competent and are not allowed to work? What are you saying, CJ?
They are being interfered with. They are being interfered with. When you get funding being sent to non-existent schools, somebody somewhere is asked to give back that money. Whatever they are, I mean, what is allocated to schools, some of it is not reaching the schools themselves,
yeah.
And as a result, they are in difficulties. So it is all interference.
So interference and competence. Do you think the people who are running the various ministries and their boss are competent enough to do so? The report I have, the information I have, is quite a number of people are in positions they are least qualified for, and as a result, they don't even understand. In fact, their aim there is, what are you going to get, and give back to those who are in power. Okay.
Yes.
I'd like us to understand now, what's happened with respect to the rule of law. You're a lawyer, you're a legal expert, you've sat on the bench, I think you've served on both sides, right? Bar and the bench.
Yes.
Let's speak about the environment we're in now, particularly with, the right to protest. How do we protect the right to demonstrate, particularly in an environment of violence, with respect to the police and how they conduct themselves? a moment to speak about the state of law and order in the country from
Yes.
your perspective.
Thank you, Yvonne. One of my major pillars is resetting the country back to constitutionalism. We have one of the best constitutions in the world, with elaborate provisions on literally every aspect of our lives. When it comes to human rights, we have an elaborate Bill of Rights. Demonstrations, what sometimes we call picketing, is there in the Constitution. And the regulations that are there is for whoever wants to demonstrate, whoever wants to picket, gives notice to the police. It's not seeking permission from the police to demonstrate. What he's doing is to give notice. That notice is intended for the police to ensure, because when you have very many people in a public place, there are criminals who can come in and take advantage of their presence and go breaking into people's properties, which happens. So the police are supposed to guard against that. They are supposed to plan and ensure that as these people are marching here, others are not breaking into shops, behind. So, but that is not being allowed. And it's not only the demonstrations. The Constitution has not been implemented. It's not being implemented. You know, Yvonne, of the court orders that are issued against the government. They just looked at, they are sneered. They are sneered at, and nobody wants to, they are not being complied with. We are, impunity has reached the highest level it has ever been in this country. So unless we reset the country and get everybody to obey the law.
How do you do that?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
Is in my administration, I will make it very clear, and I'm making it even from now, that everybody will have to obey the law, starting with me. Starting with me, there is nobody who is going to say he's a member of my family, so he cannot comply with the law.
And if they don't?
If they don't, I will myself deal with them. I will myself. That is a promise I'm giving to the Kenyans, that we have to reset back to the rule of law and deal with impunity.
I want to give you a scenario. You're president. People want to march to State House. Others are in another part of the country, perhaps preparing to loot a supermarket. If people want to march to State House and you are president, what would you do? Will people want to march to State House? Get police. Do what?
Get police to restrain them. Haven't you seen that in other countries? Police go with shields. Yeah? These people are not armed. These people are not armed. Shield and get them not to break. But the orders that are given is to shoot, to control.
So you believe, because I just want to understand present circumstances versus if you were the person in power right now, is a march to State House a legitimate right of citizens?
First of all,
and to what extent?
To what extent? Let's go back a little bit. Who are these who are demanding to march to State House? These are people who feel totally betrayed, like our young people. We have had marches in the past. We have had doctors. We have had teachers demonstrating on the streets, and there's not been any breakages. The young people have been forgotten. Nobody is listening to them. When they complain using technology, with this, is it stereotypes? When they do that, what happens to them? They are abducted. Can you imagine? Abducted. A young person abducted because he's expressing his anger by that. And
do you believe they can express their anger in a march to State House?
Well, if their problems had been listened to, I don't think they would get there.
Okay, so now I want us to imagine a scenario where you are president, people are marching to State House.
Yeah.
Whether or not you've listened to them or heard them or not, I just want to understand what your thoughts are around that. So it's President Maraga in 2027 or 2028 and people are marching to State House.
You will have,
what do you do?
You will have,
allow it?
You will have known from intelligence
that
this is planned. Find a way of addressing those issues. When you address those issues, if there are enough few who will march there, if I was in State House, I would even walk out and tell them, young people, what is it that you want? Talk to them and find a way of addressing their issues. The issue is go to the root cause of the problem. Without going to the root cause of the problem, you're not going to solve the anger will continue increasing.
Okay. Protests are a legitimate form of expression.
Exactly.
You are out on the streets. In response to that, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Gladys Boss, said this about you being on the streets. She said you were fueling protests while enjoying taxpayer-funded perks and pension. She said you were misleading children, destroying people's property. She went on to say, shame on you, Maraga, shame on you, Maraga, shame on you, Maraga. What is your response to that statement that was made on the floor of the House, and what is your response to Gladys Boss?
Thank you. You know, Boss said that I am enjoying retirement benefits paid by the government. It is not the government who are paying me. It is the Kenyan people whom I served that are paying me. And I'm entitled to that pension like any other retired person who is pensionable. So, why, if I've retired, am I gagged? Am I supposed to be gagged? Am I not supposed to, don't I have constitutional rights to do what I want legally, which is there? As I've said, about 60 young people were killed last year in demonstrations when they were demonstrating against the finance bill, which they said was punitive. And look at the circumstances in which that bill was passed. I mean, the MPs literally was nearing the young people. And that's why the outrage was that great. Now, these people have not been compensated. Nobody has cared to think or express solidarity with them about their pain. These are parents, and I was moved myself, and I said, let me join these people, if only to tell them that Kenya, there are very many other people who are feeling for you.
Yeah, yet she said you were misleading people's children.
Look. And
being part of a group that's destroying people's property. I want you to respond to those direct allegations.
Yes. That statement of us is misleading itself. It's the first one which is misleading. I was not misleading anybody. I'm not the one who organized the demonstrations. The parents sent a notice to the police and said they were coming to demonstrate. And if my recollection is right, about a night before or 2 nights before, they were given assurances that you come and demonstrate, express your feelings. The police are going to protect you as you march. And I say, look, let us support these people. They are not alone. I mean, their pain is our pain as human beings, first as human beings and as a country. So I went and joined them. So for somebody to say that I am misleading, am I the one who is misleading all over the country? I have not made any particular statement that is inciting to those people, other than saying, look, what is happening to them is wrong, and we should, as a country, not allow it to go on.
The President and other members of the executive called what happened out on the streets an attempted coup, an attempt to overthrow the government. You were out there yourself. Was it? We are
yet to see any evidence of that. What I can tell you I saw are a police marching with the hired goons besides them. It's like the police were supporting, were themselves supporting these goons who were terrorizing the young people. The destruction of property. The destruction of property is not by the young people who are demonstrating. Some could be by criminals who took advantage of that. And some could even, I mean, with the information we are getting is some are actually hired goons to do that to justify the use of force by the police, I mean by the government. So that is not an excuse at all.
So do you agree or disagree with the characterization of what happened on the streets as an attempt to overthrow the government?
I don't, because I can't see, or we have not been told of any organized. You don't go to the streets to overthrow the government. To overthrow a government, you need to plan. You need to allot. What evidence have we been shown? Quite a number of young people have been charged with terrorism. A very serious offense that calls for stiff terms of bail and bond. The whole idea is to punish them, to keep them behind the bars so that they can cause fear to others not to come. Those are not terrorists, I can assure you. These are young people who I mean, how do you terrorize the country with bare hands? We have not been told of anybody who was armed. So, I mean, all these are mechanisms meant to cause fear so that the government is able to control and not allow the demonstrations.
Whilst they're calling for good governance and you know, observance of the rule of law, you know, there's the slogan that they want the president to serve one term. He says, you know, he wants to serve 2 terms. CJ, they say 1 term. What do you say for Ruto?
Look, the condemnations that are howled against the president, the outrage expressed against the president, if he's listening to what the Kenyans are saying, if he's watching what is there in the social media, should see that he has lost legitimacy to rule. He doesn't have the Kenyan people behind him, and the honorable thing to do is to resign. If he did that, there will be all these things will end, and a new government will come in place. Replace him, and listen to the people. Instead of doing that, he is getting goons to be used alongside the police, and you know that's a very dangerous path. That's a very, very dangerous path. When you go as far as getting goons to do what the police are supposed to do, you are treading on a very dangerous path. Wait a minute. You see today what I've seen in the news, actually, I mean, carried on a Citizen TV, are traders from, was it Ruiru, who are saying that they are coming up to defend their property. Why are they doing that? It's because the government has failed to provide protection that they require. Don't tell me that because of this looting, I mean, of course, they are reacting because they have suffered loss. But go back to who has caused that looting. If the government was being run properly, this would not arise. The traders are taking literally law into their own hands and protecting themselves. Everybody else is going to do that. What is the role of the government? The government is supposed to provide security to everyone so that there is no need for traders to go and employ people who are not trained, people who may even turn against them. So it is. I mean, that's the chaos we are headed into.
You're the legal expert in the room. On one side, there's people who say we want him to serve 1 term and then we go to an election. On the other side, the president is himself saying these are illegal attempts to to get him out of office. And of course, his supporters say he will serve 2 terms like his predecessors have done. I want to get your legal opinion, because you are an expert, surely all the way up until Chief Justice. Are the calls for him to run for 1 term illegal? What are the options for the president now? You yourself have said he's lost legitimacy to rule. And you've asked for his resignation. So give us that option in law. Couch that in legal for us.
The resignation? What?
Or the options that are available to him.
Yeah.
Between now and 2027?
Yes.
2027 and beyond?
Yes, yes. What these people are saying, 1 term, is that they are tired. They are tired of Ruto's governance system, and they are asking him to resign. Short of that, what the option that is there is for Parliament to do its work. Parliament has powers to impeach the president under the Constitution. The president has violated uncountable provisions of the Constitution. If Parliament were doing its work, the president would not be in office today. So what these people are saying when they are talking about 1 term is President Ruto resign. If you are not resigning, Parliament, are you listening? Impeach this president and get him out. Of course, the other option left there for the people is for the people there on their own initiative. But that's a long process, which will require a lot of funding. A lot of funds, and a process through the IBC. Is a long option. The shortest route to this is for the president to resign, or if he fails to resign, Parliament is supposed to impeach him. But my guess is as good as yours.
Yeah, well,
Parliament will not do that because it is captured. Parliament is captured. Instead, what they are doing, instead of even asking him to resign, they are now supporting him and telling him go on. Some of them are telling him, look, don't order the shooting of the young boys on the legs. Shoot to kill. We are listening to that. Others are saying, look, if you don't want to give him his full terms, we will still vote for him and fill the ballot boxes. That is the conversation. I mean, what we are hearing from politicians, I don't know whether you can hear of that from a civilized nation.